You are all recovering in your various ways on the lucky strike. Damien from the perils of the warp. Solomon from extensive biosurgery. Judge Rex from having to sully your morals with these inquisitorial tasks. And Morgan from your lack of surety, though that has now been placed back. You've got more faith. You had a chance to speak with Inquisitor Valentyne. Damien knows that you are the legitimate commander of this operation, as he was the only one who really questioned that at any point. And your team is recovering, but you had said specifically they've all spent a day in contemplation, in nerve surgery, drinking Amasec in the kitchen with the cookbot, but you'd wanted to get them together for a speech. What is this speech, Morgan?
Oh, God. Let me review some of my notes that might come into play. Morgan, yes, we'll gather everyone together in the mess hall?
Yeah.
Yep. She'll make sure everyone is there and just casually get up and sit on something. So she's not like standing while they're beneath, like sitting. So she's above them, they can hear her, but she's a little more casual.
Okay. So if you have them sitting around a table, kind of booth style, looking at you, would you set like stacked cargo crates? Or are you just sitting in a chair the same height as them? Was this staged for you in advance?
Yeah, I think it's stacked cargo crates is just cargo in the corner of there.
Have been brought into the kitchen specifically for an interrogatorial seat.
Yes. Thank you everyone for coming. We've been through a lot these past few days. We did a good job on our first mission. We secured Talos Ivo. The mission was difficult, but everyone performed quite admirably. The warp incursion shook all of us. But we came through it, injured, but alive. I know that we've all had to do difficult things. I know that all of you have been unsure about your place here, about what is right and what is wrong. I want to assure all of you that I will do my utmost to protect all of you. Sometimes in the Inquisition, we need to do despicable things in order to protect other people, to set the Imperium on its course. That is what we are doing here. I know between the cultists and the warp incursion, it is difficult to continue to have faith, but I have arranged the chapel in one of the rooms here. I ask that each of you take something that has meaning to you and put it in there. I know we all come from different backgrounds and walks of life, but I hope that we can all bring those things together and support one another. Considering we do not have a priest on board this ship, I would ask our most holy member, Brother Solomon Gale, to please lead us in prayer and let us know what he thinks would be pertinent to continue to bolster our faith. Solomon?
How far along in the healing journey is Solomon at this point?
He's still in the tank.
I just want to know as far as like my overall mobility.
You are able to move now.
Okay.
This is the second day, so the nerves themselves are in place. You're still getting random jolts, but nothing's misaligned. Nothing's unattached. You're just getting used to this body. You can get around. You're clumsy, essentially, which you have not been, but it's a vast improvement from where you were.
Okay. I think Solomon... he'll stand up and kind of come around to where you are, and that same kind of thing. Like he's shambly. He's not as he maybe like clips the edge of the tail. Sorry, and he's still a little raspy. And he goes, yes, Morgan. I would be more than willing, as long as that is all right with Judge and Damien, that I may read from Ezekiel's, or perhaps, Damien, you would prefer if I read from what?
I mean, there's the Ministerium Bible, the Lectitio Divinitatis. It really depends on the kind of text that he's carrying. You also wouldn't know the name of the book he's carrying.
Sure. Okay. Yes. So perhaps, Damien, you would prefer if I read from your prayer book, if that is something you felt comfortable with?
I would.
Sure.
Here, take this. I want that back.
Of course. Yes, and he like looks at it and he's like internally, there's so many pages. That he's like, he just
And there's words on all of them.
it's just he skims through it just ever so briefly and a little like, oh my God, this is gonna take forever. But then I think he would he'd find he'd take a quick flip and find something that looked like a relevant passage, and he would just start rattling off unfamiliar prayers. But with a sort of genuine curiosity, like as he reads, he'll get down to a passage and be like, well, that okay, all right, well, yes, all right, you should do that. That's very interesting. And he'll lead you guys in a prayer.
Can you roll me a religion?
Sure. The Aki way. That is a natty 19 plus 4 for a 23.
Nice.
You pick something that is perfectly in tune with this moment as you read through 3 different passages. What is the theme of the passage that speaks to you, Judge, that he has picked out perfectly?
That mercy is for the weak.
Fabulous. Damien, what's the theme of the passage that speaks to you?
I think it's like suffer not the heretic. Yeah.
Perfect. What theme of what passage speaks to you, Morgan?
For Morgan, it's the Emperor gives you exactly what you need.
Fabulous. And then the final passage from Ezekiel's book. What passage do you turn to from your own past to comfort you in this moment?
He's like, he'll give you back your book, and he'll go, thank you. These are new words to me, but each more compelling than the next. And then he'll flip open Ezekiel's Bible, and one of the last, it's a longer passage, but the last words will just be teamwork makes the dream work. That is truly, in the eyes of the Emperor, a blessed phrase and a blessed prayer for us all to return to our quarters and think on.
Yeah, and Damien's trying to be on his best behavior, and like his eyes are closed, and like his hands are like, his fingers are interlaced and folded together, but just like this deep furrowed brow as he just like is like each line from this final passage in the book of Ezekiel is just like walking into a brick wall for him. It's like,
But he looks so handsome furrowing his brow.
Sure. Solomon's like, whoa, you're doing something different with your hair. It's a good look. It's working.
Solomon, can you roll me
Solomon's like,
a perception?
Do I look good? His gigantic robot eyes weeping.
Can you roll me a history or an insight?
Oh,
One is memory, the other is gut.
Yeah, I have a fantastic history, and I am not insightful. So
Okay, history.
Enjoy. It is a 14.
14. There's something familiar about that brow, but you just can't place it.
oh,
He saw it in Vanity Fair.
I saw it in a vanity somewhere. But
And he just, he takes he clocks it, but he comes back.
Thank you, Brother Solomon. All of you have done a good job. I've sent my reports to the Inquisitor, and he is thankful that we have secured the first asset and happy with our progress. All of you are important to this mission and team. I hope that you will all protect one another and keep your faith strong. They're dismissed.
And you are dismissed, and this week goes on. I know originally you had mentioned the idea of wanting to debrief each team member, but it feels like you may have done that.
Yeah, the only one I want to talk again to is the judge. But I think it will be during some downtime. Yeah.
Would you wait a couple of days, or would you want to tackle the judge immediately?
I think this would be earlier on. Yes.
Great. So why don't we do that first?
Great.
Following this meeting, if you're feeling direct, is an ideal moment at any point over the course of this day to be able to talk to the judge. Judge, what are you doing in your downtime? How does he spend his day when he does not have a specific task?
going through the Lex Imperialis, going through the codes again. He also has basically a bunch of old records, old judgments he's made, a collection of new ones potentially that he's deciding upon.
Tallying the sins of your compatriots in the field?
Yeah, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Between that, stargazing, taking his mastiff for walks, making sure all of his limbs are properly lubricated, the usual.
Great. So between tallying crimes, gazing at the stars, and exercising alongside your cybermastiff, it sounds like a good way to spend a day. When do you interrupt him and where, knowing that he wanders around with his cybermastiff so you could catch him anywhere in the ship?
I think when he's wandering around with the dog, but close to when he's near the ships where the docking bay is, that big open area where the ship and the lander are.
Great.
So I'm like curling pieces of rebar, like tons of them, while the dog's just like running around by my feet or something.
Super.
Yeah. Judge Rex, do you have a moment?
200. Yes, in just a second. I drop it. There's a loud thud.
You're very strong. I was wondering if you wouldn't mind speaking with me and perhaps training with me. Over the years, I've had many people to spar with, but none are as strong as you on this ship. Thank you, Solomon, limping around.
I was almost going to make you roll a deception, but I think that checks out.
Yeah.
So you want to keep your instincts sharp and your reflexes also sharp.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, your name is Morgan Sharp, after all.
Yeah. It is now, yes.
Very well. He stands up. He puts back on his shirt and his armor. He was shirtless the entire time.
Wait.
I know he was shirtless. We're accepting this.
Marky Mark?
Okay, he redresses himself, which for the record, we know takes 5 minutes historically, but he does it a little fast.
Morgan, so patiently.
Camera pans out, he has no shirt.
Glistening.
Yeah. Helmet on, though.
Yeah. Helmet on, shirt off, muscles straight.
All right. There's training quarters in this place. I would
You've got the storage bay that can be set up. And I think if you were looking at training quarters or a large space, you could set it up for target shooting. You could do whatever you want. It's a big, empty, vaulted space.
Great. All right. So, what kind of martial art were you looking to train in?
What ones do you know? I pick things up quickly.
Oh, well, let me tell you all of them.
Are you looking at me? Is that a specific martial art?
What are some of the?
They don't have specific martial arts other than being trained on specific worlds. You would have trained in the Scala Progenium, which means you would have effectively learned traditional kind of martial arts. You'd be familiar with boxing. You might be familiar with kickboxing, like those kind of training and behaviors exist. But you also shifted into the Arbites school, which means you have specific training with weaponry that could carry over if you wanted to teach her Arbites things versus hand-to-hand things. You could start to teach her methodology of using a riot shield. That's something that's not usually practiced outside of the Arbites because it's standard for the way that you carry. You've got the shock maul is another weapon that you're a specialist with and using in combat. Also, shotguns are not terribly widespread in the Imperium because they tend to be closer range weapons. They use altered versions of it in the Imperial Navy, but they tend not to use it widespread in the Guard or other organizations.
Okay, so knowing all of that, thank you very much, by the way. Well, how about we mix some things together? I'll familiarize you with shieldcraft and close combat, the Arbites way.
I'd like to see it. All right.
Okay, well, I'm the only one with the shield, so...
Closet can provide training weapons that are depowered, so not necessarily the full weight and deadliness of your shield, but she can have armaments of anything that you would want for training.
Okay, great. So let's get you a shield.
Let's do shielding.
Done and done.
All right. Actually, could Closet make...
Yes.
I would like Closet to make at least some sort of replica, a more lighter weight one of the Arbites shield. You know how you can slot in a shotgun, for close quarters combat like that. So I wondered if we could do something similar and get her something close to a shock maul and something close to a shotgun.
Okay.
Yeah.
The shield's the easiest, so I'll roll that one with advantage. It's a nat 20. You get all the equipment you want. So they are essentially scaled to Morgan's size, but as effective and identically built to yours.
Oh, thank you, Closet. Good manufacturing.
You're welcome.
All right.
Bye.
So I'm just going to show you the stance we take, making sure that legs are shoulder width apart so that we have a good center of balance, that we're not going to be pushed over, fall over. We can clip our guns in place. I go through all those motions with you, and I guess we just practice back and forth as I show you movement.
Great.
What are you looking to get out of this, Morgan?
Morgan is looking to just spend time with the judge doing something he likes. She also would be happy to basically be checking out his form, looking just to get more information about him generally. Also to keep herself sharp, but it is definitely just to engender herself to him.
Fabulous. Okay, can you roll me perception with advantage to see what you can get a read on with the judge, because you are up close for an extended period of time with us.
Right. That's a 19.
19. Okay. What exactly are you trying to learn by observing his form and other things? I just want to make sure that I understand what the request is, because you rolled good, so you're going to discover something.
Yeah, I think it is just basically looking for weaknesses in him.
Weaknesses in him. His combat style has the same seeming struggle that the judge occasionally does. His balance is off sometimes. It's if you could hit him at the base of an idea when it's not well planted yet, the same way that you can kind of get him with the occasional bad footwork as he's getting back into the game. That's his weakness. You go at the shield, you lose. You go at him head on, you lose. You're going to have to off balance him and surprise him with something that he didn't expect, which might also be a strategy for negotiating with him. He doesn't guard his feet terribly well, and knowing that a whip is one of your specialty weapons, though you have not shown it to the team yet, he would struggle with a whip because you could grab an ankle and take him out.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that is, it's long-term, just more things for her to put in her brain.
Thought we were becoming close.
Of how to get him off balance or to overpower him if he ever tried to push back on her too much.
Yep. Okay, so you guys are training, testing each other's limits. I want to do some rolls to see how this training generally goes. Morgan, I'm going to have you roll a close combat attack. You've got the equipment. It's been made in the proper way. It's scaled to you. It's lighter, but ultimately it is a strength weapon. What's your strength modifier?
+0.
+0. And what's your dex modifier?
+4.
I'm going to split the difference on this. We're going to call it +2. You can cover your strength with some of your agility over this. I need that roll from you. You won't have proficiency because these are brand new weapons you're getting trained with, so you'll just be a +2. Can I get a melee attack with your shock maul? You're not going to do damage to each other. This is just to see mechanically how she does against you with this kind of shock maul shield combo.
Oh, nat 20 from Morgan.
That is going to be a 21.
21 versus a nat 20 +2, 22. I was going to have this be multiple rolls, but based on these rolls, Morgan, you do real good. Morgan is an excellent student as you were showing these things and picking these things up. Closet hooks you up so that you can actually run targets. You can do that kind of John Wick training and moving through an environment with pop-up things surprising you. And by the end of this session, Morgan can clear a room with a shotgun and the riot shield as effectively as any of the troopers that you had seen in your Arbites training.
Oh, great.
It is a pleasant surprise, I imagine, for you because Morgan does not necessarily seem like, oh, I've spent hundreds of hours doing combat training. And from what you'd seen on next to nothing. You've seen a very impressive sniper shot, but that doesn't suggest that, oh, Morgan's going to be able to throw down up close, and she's doing perfectly. Can you roll me a perception?
Oh, fuck. That's a 7.
7. What I'm going to say is you don't manage to realize that she is sizing you up with this testing because she is such an ideal student and she is so good at general deception that it just seems like she wants to learn. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're like, oh, I think she's the coolest person ever and she's my friend now. But it just means that you're passing on these skills and there's a certain satisfaction to being a good teacher to a good student does feel nice.
Okay.
Yeah. And by the end of it, too, that you've drilled long enough that Morgan has loosened up. She is sweating, but there is just a lightness to her of she gets an enjoyment from learning new things and from working hard. She genuinely likes that. And so she's a bit smiling and jovial with you. Just, Judge, that was exactly the workout I needed. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's good to spar with somebody of skill.
I agree. You are very skilled. Obviously, you've had so much experience and so much experience out in the world. Thank you, Judge. And I wanted to tell you, I did speak with the Inquisitor. He told me that Damien is essential to our mission. We will need a psyker of his level for one of our upcoming missions. If something happens with Damien, we would need to find a psyker of similar power to replace him. But I'm certain that you've seen psykers in your many hundreds of years, and I implore you to try and think if you've known one as pious and malleable as Damien.
I need to do like a history check for myself.
Absolutely. Roll me a history.
Malleable. That's good.
History, where are you? 10.
Could be history. What's your score in investigation? Is that a stronger skill for you?
No.
Okay, history it is. At 10. I would say, looking back over your history, you haven't dealt with a lot of powerful psychers. Rogue psychers that you had dealt with, you just put them down as fast as you could. None of them had Damien's skill. None of them had Damien's finesse. They all seemed kind of like, for lack of a better term, like the crazy ranting person on a corner, only occasionally they threw lightning. Like very dangerous, very unstable. The psychers that you had met that were sanctioned, astropaths, because you ran in a higher end part of society. Astropaths, you may have seen a sanctioned psyker coming through from the Astra Militarum a couple of times just in terms of regimental transit. None of them showed anywhere near Damien's raw power. Astropaths traded messages. They'd all been blinded. They'd all been soul-bound to the Emperor. And the sanctioned psychers that you'd seen also had a bunch of equipment on them to try to amplify them to the level that they could be more useful than someone with a gun, but still very reined in. Damien, to see him with flaming horns firing warp fire out of a crossbow bolt and battling the Ascended with you, like, the power is undeniable. And he's healed you, which you didn't even know a psyker could do.
I'll admit I'm not familiar with the level of psyker we're dealing with here, and that makes me nervous. I understand he's necessary, so I will not kill him.
Thank you, Judge. I only wish to explain it to you as you've requested, that I be specific in giving you that information, and I have relayed it as you've asked.
I don't know what the judge has more to say. It's just more like, this is like, I think he's like, well, this has filled my cup, you know?
Fabulous.
I am done. This has been for somebody who doesn't date, this is a great first date. Great. No romance involved, but just, okay.
It's the first friend date. The first time you go hang out with somebody, you're like, okay, we could both train. Your orders make sense. Perfect. Exit. Are you somebody who would use an exit line, or is this the classic Arbites where you're normally the authority, so you just walk out of the room?
This is me with my hair down. So, frivolity and mirth does make a good friendship. But in times of stress, there cannot be friendship.
The judge says this to you, Morgan.
Judge, was that the poem?
Yes. Yes. There were poets on the planet I was on. Fuck me.
I want to look that up for you.
No,
it was Rescal. It was Rescal.
Yes, Planet Rescal. I killed them. No. No.
I mean, here's the thing. There could actually have been a Rescalian poet whose work spoke to you that you ended up executing because it verged on heresy against the government.
Yes.
And you would have had to, over the course of deciding the fate of this poet, read all of their poetry to decide whether or not it was heretical or not against the government. And ultimately, if your decision was, this is an anti-government poet whose work is so beautiful that it will raise the populace up against the leadership, you would have had to execute them and burn the poems.
Oh, for sure.
But they would have been burned into your memory over the study of the case.
Yeah.
What was the name of this Rescalian poet that haunts you to this day?
It is going to be Lucius Staunchen.
Lucius Staunchen. A poet only you know, because you carry the only remaining copy of his works, having burned all others.
Yes.
How do you explain this to Morgan?
Rescal, the planet I served for many years, was on the verge of collapse many times. And people got by with what they could, whatever gave them comfort, whatever gave them aid. Sometimes that meant they crossed the line when it came to matters of upholding the laws of the Imperium. Such as poetry, art. Nevertheless, I retained some of what I was forced to burn. And some of the works weren't good, but they remain all the same.
I see. Sometimes beautiful things can speak to us from the most unlikely of places.
Well said, interrogator.
Thank you for this, Judge.
He gives one of those very, very slight nods, but this one is, whereas before it was maybe giving just like a millimeter of movement of his head in one direction, this is going to be nicer and way more graceful. This is going to be a lowered head tilt, holds it for just the briefest moment and then brings it back up and then walks out the door.
And Morgan will give him a return curtsy that is like suddenly snap. This is a high-class lady. This is a person of means giving you a very official, old-fashioned curtsy.
Aww.
And then she will go her own way.
And no further words need to be exchanged from this positive encounter, miraculously and unpredictably.
Incredible.
As this day is progressing, I do want to ask you, Damien, you had mentioned the concept of stewardship, how you were going to care for Solomon, especially now that his legs be no good.
Yeah.
He's just reconnecting with this new body. Are there acts you would take to specifically steward him through this moment? Or did you mean it more metaphorically where you would avoid him but just do the bad things for him in future?
I think he had kind of made up his own mind about how that would play out, and it would be like doing bad things for him in the future, but then kind of being told by Morgan of like, go take care of him, go protect him, go make friends with him, and also being told by Valentyne, like, don't be such a moody little shit, that he's just kind of like, so now it's more like he's like shadowing Solomon a little bit. He still is not like fully like enthusiastically engaging with him, but like Solomon, you may be in one of the common rooms, maybe like doing some stretches or some exercises to try and just get a sense of your body or something like that, and you'll be doing some reps of some kind, and you'll stoop down into squat or something, and as you rise up, Damien will just be there.
No.
Just like leaning like in a doorway or like against a wall, arms crossed, just kind of looking at you. like not saying hello, but he's like here. This is his like olive branch. This is his like version.
This is his nice gift.
This is his version of putting himself out there.
He stands a little too like visibly close. He's not hiding you. He's not secretly shadowing you. He's just been following you around and leaning on walls in rooms where you're doing things.
Sure.
At what point, like when would you try to engage with him?
So I think Solomon would he's focusing right now, like he's having trouble, like buttoning a shirt and doing stuff like that. So he sees Damien in that same way where you're like, you see a cat that you just adopted, and you're like,
can you roll me animal handling with advantage?
What do I have?
Everybody does. It's just a question of what is it.
Wisdom.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You get advantage though.
Let's try it. Let's see what happens. A natty 18 for
That's
a
really
18.
good. Okay, Damien, can you roll me? I would say like a wisdom saving throw.
Sure. 17 plus 0 for 17.
Sometimes story worlds just come together because there's a week that this can take place over as you recover Solomon, and you realize as you see this surly psyker at the edges of this room slowly approaching, Damien bristles when he's told what to do. He's more powerful than he knows, but he also desperately needs leadership and companionship. Damien Proxima is a Grox, just like Lurleen, and you have a week to win this Grox's trust. What are your Grox-based strategies over the course of these days to try to make Damien more comfortable with you approaching him?
Again, like you can't use the exact Grox manual on a teenager. That's not
eating out of your hand.
Yeah, slop in his hand.
The Grox would bite your hand off if you did that.
Right,
But it's the psychological precept. It's
yes. You have to create a space that, again, you can't force these animals to do anything. These animals are headstrong and they're dangerous and they're powerful. So you have to create an environment that is palatable and safe for the animal to enter on its own accord. So I think Damien or Solomon is going to, as he's doing things to, facilitate his own rehabilitation, he's going to, in the same way that Damien's kind of checking him out, like he's going to try and make a space that's a little more Damien friendly. And I think he starts by kind of like regulating himself a little bit. So like when Damien's in the room, his normal reaction would be like, Damien, come work out with me. Check out my new legs.
Leaves,
yeah. So he stops that. So like as he sees Damien, the first thing he's going to do is just, like a nod, just like a hello. I see you. We're in the same space. That's fine. And then, I think he gets
Grox nodding. That's always the first step in training a good Grox.
No direct eye contact. That's too weird. And then sharing meals together, showing that, because mealtime for a Grox can be the fight or flight kind of moment, right? And so trying to figure out what kind of food Damien likes, asking the cook, going up to cook 10 and being like, I know this is a weird request, but what kind of food does Damien, what's his favorite 3 things?
He gives you a flask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are the things you have been ordering from the kitchen?
Yeah, I don't think Damien has a lot of favorite things. I think it's generally it hasn't been his whole life in a prison, right? But it has been 25% of his life in a prison. So prison food is kind of what he's grown up with recently. Prior to that, whatever I think was available. But then there were these moments of like, okay, he was sort of put into an elevated position, I think given some preferential treatment. And so he got some nicer things, not just like what I'm assuming are just like meal like gruel bars or something like
you'd
that,
be
right?
doing like gruel and barley cakes and very simple food when you started.
Yeah.
Only you ended up traveling amongst like the cardinate and these very important people where you would have seen vast feasts that you could have
like meat
taken part. Tremendously rich foods.
Yeah.
And then to prison where it's like gruel and corpse starch all day.
Yeah. And I think Valentyne probably visited with like a treat. Gave him something nice there as well.
Valentyne also would have improved some of the foods. So it's like, fruit wouldn't be totally foreign to Damien. Like stuff that would almost be health required, but seems like a reward from Valentyne when it factors in. Of like, Valentyne said I did good. I get an orange now once a week, and it's really just to prevent scurvy. But you don't know that you got an orange.
And so I think he has weird tastes because it is like these like peaks among valleys of like food quality. So like he loves he just loves eating a lemon. He just loves a lemon. He hasn't shared this experience with anyone, but just like biting into a lemon like makes you feel fucking alive. Like you like just your mouth is on fire. It's burning the impurity out of you. I might need help like 40K contextualizing it, but some kind of like definitely like a meat, something like hearty.
I think honestly, Grox steaks are the most common thing. Grox are huge. They create a large amount of meat, so it's like. It's expensive in that shipping anything anywhere is expensive in and of itself, but it's also the like cheap go-to of the Imperium. So it's like not the finest cut of beef in the world, but if you're on a world that does not raise Grox, you're still like, it could be grain-fed Grox when you're like the fancy person.
Yeah.
But like I think Grox steaks would definitely be on the list of things that you were into in terms of protein. Then that would make sense. Like I love lemons as fruit, but it's like gruel for breakfast. When you get the printout of what he's ordered this week, it's like prison food, tremendously rich feast, prison food, a lemon. Like it's so lemons are his late night snack that has popped up a number of times. He likes Grox steaks, which is a clear commonality between the two of you, having come from a society that's very into raising and thus eating Grox. And is there anything else that would stand out as a treat, like a third thing?
Yeah.
Like, do you like breads? Is there something
I think there would be some kind of like a something baked, right? Yeah, something that like you don't is again a treat because it's like normal stuff just gets like churned out assembly line kind of thing, and this is something that would like take some degree of care. So I think like a flake pastry, so not even for like nutrition. Do you know what I mean? Like it is purely sort of like it's
a decadent treat,
like an indulgent kind of treat. So some kind of like flake pastry.
So flake pastry, Grox steaks, a lemon.
So I think Solomon would learn this information kind of on the sly when Damien's out. And I'm sure Closet is telling him, as part of the rehabilitation, you have to kind of relearn how to do a couple of fine motor things. So I think he's going to take this opportunity to work in the kitchen a little bit, and like he's going to try and get some like knife skills, and he's going to try, he's chopping things, and then over the course of that week he'll
I was going to say the recovery also, to be clear, is prodigious here. It's like, you're having trouble with motor skills, and over the course of a day you're so like it's what everybody wishes physical therapy was in real life, but you're experiencing that. But yes, absolutely.
Sure. So I think he would, he's making these things and he's trying to combine elements of the stuff that Damien likes, knowing that like the stuff that he makes, he can, so he'll make like a lemon bar or something like that, like a little tray of lemon bars. And then he'll the one is missing with a knife beside it, and he'll just leave it out on the tray to be like, oh, you know what, this, he's not trying to be manipulative, I think, in this way, like, oh, like this will get me there. Like, I think this is like a genuine, it works for him, it helps his rehab, but it's also like, oh, this is just like a nice,
I think everybody would be eating better if you're doing this, because it's not just Damien.
Yes. Yeah.
You're tracking everybody's stuff. But you get that opportunity. I love that. Okay. So you have to maintain safe contact with the Grox, make the environment good.
Yep.
You have to feed the Grox so they're fed, they're happy, but they also know that you're a source of food.
Yep. And then I think the last and like the most sort of bonding thing is play. You have to show that to the Grox that now you've eaten together, and now that you've done this, that you can play with one another, and it's not, there's no threat. This is a safe environment. So I think in those times, Damien is like floating around. He'll have his little regicide kit out, and there's nobody else around. He's just by himself, and he's like going through little strategy by himself. So he's like playing weird little regicide solitaire. And then he'll be playing it, and his eyes will just flick over to you and then go back.
Yeah, and like sees you look at him and like looks away as well. Damien, like, I'm not watching you do that. Kind of like,
But there is this plate of lemon bars right next to the regicide board.
I think it's just like you hear him before he appears in the door. You just hear like, what the? And it's like, looks in the doorway, is like, just sort of like, what is going on here? Says, what is that?
This it's regicide.
No, I know what that is.
Oh.
What are those?
Oh, those are those are and his voice is still kind of, he was like intubated, I'm sure, so he's all raspy a little bit. That's those are lemon bars. I made lemon bars. Have you ever had a lemon bar?
Lemon bars.
In Promethea, when we would harvest, we had vast lemon groves. And, you know, we would do the festivals and you'd do the secret ceremony, and then there would be leftovers, and we would make these little, like little desserts, little treats. Would you like one?
What? Dessert?
Yes. You have a meal, you have a big meal, and then at the end you have a little sweet treat.
Like, Damien doesn't know some of these words. Like,
Try here, and he'll slide the tray right over to you. Try one.
It's lemon.
In a bar.
Pick one up and put it in his mouth. He's like, probably never had anything sweet before. Even
I mean, you tried the pastry, so you might have had.
I don't even know that. Like, I think it's like light flaky bread. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it makes sense to me that also even in these fancier environments, you would have restrained yourself out of all sense of propriety. That it's like, well, the cardinal can eat sweets, but I don't deserve them yet.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, this is your first dessert.
And like a lemon bar, as like Tyler know, is like, it's a lot of sugar to compensate for the sourness of a lemon kind of thing. Do you like, as you conceive of them being in like the 40K version of a lemon bar or whatever, is it like a one-to-one thing, or is there anything distinct about it from how we would?
I think
know
it would
lemon bars?
it would be restrained by what's in the kitchen. Like if they don't have like, you know, a ton of sugar, it's like sugar cut with something else.
Yeah, it would be lighter on the sugar.
Yeah,
like it would be.
Well, I mean, that's what he likes.
Yeah, it'd be lighter on the sugar, and I would say the whole experience would be slightly coarser than we would expect in terms of a modern bakery, because you're not dealing with the full equipment. It's not necessarily as well made. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a little grainier. It's heavier on the lemon than it is on the sweet. Like the sour is there.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah. And it's like he still doesn't have all of his like faculties. So like the part of it is like a little more burnt than the rest, and so like the crust isn't like, you know, he's put, there's like a half a lemon floating in it, like, but no, he's like, it's a little rough, like it's a little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
I
don't think that he clocks that. Picks it up and puts it in his mouth, and like he's tried to be in control, kind of like from a Judge Rex perspective, like be in control of like his facial expressions. But this is like, you just see like the eyebrows go up, like, well, and he's like chewing, and he like looks at you, he's like, did you made these?
when your eyebrows go, I think Solomon like laughs, like he's like, for the first time in a little bit, he's like, aha, tell me that's not the light of the emperor in your mouth right there, right? Come on. That's good, right? That's like down home Promethean lemon bars.
I have thought of biting into a lemon as being a sort of light purging the corruption of what's inside, the burning, the shocking sensation. This is good.
He looks pumped. And again, it's that you don't want to, you want to grab the cat and just be like, he's like, you can see him like, yes, that's, thank you. That.
Can you roll me an insight?
I love this kitty. I love it so much. Come here. Just squishy.
It's dangerous.
Sorry, what was that?
Roll me an insight.
Insight. Just a straight 6.
Straight 6. It seems like it's going well.
Sure.
Is there anything you would like to attempt further?
I think when he's getting that, and he's not trying to make like, he's trying to be less intense and less like forthright with Damien. So I think he's looking at his regicide, and he's doing his little, solo regicide. And he would go, Damien, I wanted to say when I was incapacitated, I could hear you when you were praying. Right. I'm not sure if I was just imagining it or if it was a symptom of the anesthetic, but I'm fairly confident that I could hear you. And when I was reading from your book earlier, I recognized some of those passages. And I just wanted to let you know that I was very appreciative that you would spend your time that way. I think it helped a great deal.
Well, good. I'm glad the true word of the Emperor is appealing to you. That's a sign of promise. That's good. If you wanted to borrow my book again, well, you may.
I would like that very much. Thank you. I'm always excited to learn how to better serve the Emperor, right?
Yes.
I noticed, and now he's getting confident. I noticed you don't have a door on your room anymore.
No.
And now, just, I don't know, I could use some help, just sort of in my day-to-day. I'm still not quite back up to shape. I was wondering if you, didn't have anyone to bunk with. If you wanted to, you could move into my room and you could stay there for a little while. And I think he's doing this, number one, because he's trying to be friendly and he does need some help. But also I think he's, over the last, his rehabilitation, he's been obsessed with the fact that he wasn't more prepared. He wasn't ready. He wasn't fast enough. He didn't put his armor on. Damien was racked with these dreams and there was nobody there to help him. And so I think he's trying to stop opportunities for Damien to kind of isolate himself. So it's it's a little twofold of let's be friends, but also while you're sleeping, maybe I can.
A champion nearby.
Yes, within, in the room. But he's not going to say that, in as many words.
Yeah.
But he'll just, it's obviously not a permanent thing. I could I could really use some help getting around maybe for the next week or so. Just if that wasn't too much of an ask.
Now that is...
Yeah, it's huge.
Big, yeah.
My room has a door, which is great.
And he's had this. He's got lemon in him, though. He's got lemon in his system now.
He's all fired up on sweet citric.
He's all hopped up on lemon. Would it be okay if I did a roll to see if I'm being played?
I am fine with this being a roll. Well, I think there's a question
from
of
Damien's perspective.
From Damien's
am I being played?
So it's the teenage being played.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you roll me I would accept persuasion or deception.
Sure.
I think the result is the same. It's just whether you're trying to manipulate, you think, or whether this is just the earn. It's are you hiding the need of one, or is it the other?
I think this is a purely two birds, one stone. I don't think he's being deceitful. Again, being deceitful is not. That's not how he
can't lie.
Yeah, he doesn't walk through the world like that. I think he realizes it's born out of a genuine desire to help Damien, but also help the ship. If something like this happens again, faster response, more prepared, better.
Great. I'm going to have you roll that persuasion then with advantage for two reasons. One, I think, is you were told that you should be more directly helpful with Solomon. Mm-hmm. So you've got the classic Morgan order with Valentyne supporting it. Yep. The other reason that's supporting the advantage for this side of the roll is you blame yourself for the Frankenstein surgery and injury that has happened here. You've accepted that blame. You acknowledge that you're still going to do the work you're going to do and you're going to try to do better, but there's still that there.
Yeah.
Can I get you to roll me a survival? Because I feel like survival stands out in not in the like nature sense, but in the prison sense of just saying no to things is a better way to go than not. And we'll see what this comes down to.
Oh, man. I got 2 separate 3s.
I rolled a 19 survival.
Yeah.
Moving in is just a step too far.
As in, I see the gambit.
I think if that's what you were looking for, your prison sense is, oh, he wants to look after you as much as he wants help.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's probably the line of what you're reading into this.
Which, fair assessment.
It's not
it's not wrong.
It's not a misinterpretation. It's just knowing that can rub Damien the wrong way.
Yeah. I think he bristles and says, No. No. That's not going to happen.
No, I think Solomon, like with the Grox, and you back off. You don't push it. You just do it. No. No, that's my. You know what? My fault. I understand. Just pretend it never happened. I can look after myself.
No, you can't. Not yet. He'll go to the plate and grab a lemon bar and like walk out of the room and just down the hall with like a full mouth. You come to my room.
But you don't have a door.
My room.
Solomon, the offer has been made. The Grox is willing to share its den with you.
He's already packing his shit. Like he's just throwing stuff in bags. It doesn't matter. He's like, and regicide. He's like, whoa, stay up late. We'll play regicide all night.
He's ready to do 1,000 Promethean secret ceremonies.
Yeah, he just loves it. I think, for as cagey as Damien was, Solomon has no apprehensions. He's just like, I'm in. Mission accomplished.
Just in your head, you're picturing Damien with that same bow you put on Lurleen for the Emperor's Festival when you were named champion. And with 2 new roommates, and with burgeoning respect between an interrogator and a judge, with 600 years difference between them, there is hope for this party. We will find out for this inquisitorial band what things end up inside this chapel. We will find out what the new day today is like, and we will find out what your next mission is. Next episode.
This episode of Agents of the Inquisition features the voices of players Del Borovic, Guy Bradford, Josh Halbot, and Tyler Hewitt, alongside our Dungeon Master Ryan LaPlante. This episode was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Agents of the Inquisition's artwork was created by Del Borovic at delborovic.com. That's DELBOROVIC.com. Our theme song is The Hordes by Megan McDuffie, and our ad breaks use the tracks No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR. All of their music is available at freemusicarchive.org. For all things Dum-Dums and Dice, including merchandise and how to join our Patreon, you can visit dumdumdice.com or find us on social media at dumdumdice. That's DUMBDUMBDICE. Though the team is working under special condition, this podcast isn't. So tell your friends about Agents of the Inquisition and join us next episode. Rabute Gilliman himself commands it.
Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time: George Dolby, Gavin and Abby McDonald, Grandma Likes D&D, Alan, Stabby Stranger, Alarain Okapi, Madre de Gatos, Garbo Ape, Sam Schaefer, Waffle Marine, Dia Delos Hoodless, Squishy Werewolf, Funky Head, Accent Therapeutic Services in Florence, Kentucky, Lael, Jordan Oliver, Richard Wright, Brittany Fenwick, Megan Werner, A Man Out of Time, Curtis at FingerTechRobotics.com, Your Homeboy Bones, Ellis Hatch, Odigenous, Kai Koa, Squire Solaire, Sandy Sassy Pants, Amira Lockhart, James Molina, Nick Hemsing, Alex LaFountain, Mickey Blake, Seth Cambron, Corpse Knight Silver, Adamir 101, The Dankler, Anti-Core 7, Lady Destiny Stormbringer,
Randall Eberly. The yes but of improvisational comedy, Lord Taser. Funky Stevie. J. Robert the Mad Fox. Derek Wintenberg. Optimus Omega. Laura, the workaholic Mr. V.
And Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.